In the headlines, 16 killed in fresh Benue attack by suspected herdsmen. The world commemorates 2024 International Women's Day. Imo students march against high tuition fees and poor standards. And lastly, Senegal's presidential election date set amid uncertainty. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in full. Suspected herdsmen have reportedly launched a devastating attack on the Wando community in the Ware local government area of Benue State, resulting in the tragic loss of 16 lives. The attack, which occurred in the early hours of Friday, March 8, also saw other areas including Mbaikyo and Mbalom, a council ward in Ware local government area, ravaged by assailants. The recent assault marks the second attack on the community in recent times. In 2018, herdsmen reportedly killed 2 Catholic priests and 18 other individuals during a morning Easter mass in Mbalom. According to eyewitness accounts, including that of Ujam Amase, the armed herdsmen descended on Mbalom around 10 p.m. indiscriminately, firing at residents as they settled into their homes. Houses were also razed during the rampage. Now joining us live, we have been joined from Benue this time by a correspondent who will be giving us an update on the happenings in Benue State. Jimmy Azande from Benue. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. Now, what's the situation, and tell us about this latest development that has happened in Mbalom local government area of Benue State, the Ware local government area precisely.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a very terrible week for Benue people. Recall that only within this week, we had there was an attack in Kwandi local government in the Turan Axis. Reportedly, people were lynched, killed in the process. And of course, the one that happened a day before yesterday in Ukum local government, where, as we speak, the security officers, especially the police, are still trying to ascertain the number of casualties. And yesterday, this one happened in Mbalom. Like you said in your story, Mbalom happens to be the axis where 2 Catholic priests and the whole community was sacked by headers way back in 2018. And so it's actually, an atmosphere of fear in Benue State, because the whole thing is, everyone is afraid and saying, what next and where next will this kind of thing happen? It's actually a very serious one. And as I thought, it is not yet certain to say how many people actually died, because I try to follow up so I can give us an update. And apart from the official 16 recorded, I had contact with some people in the villages who told me that as we speak, they are still searching or combing the bush to find if some other persons are there, who were killed in the process of the attack.
So according to the reports we have now, about 16 lives have been lost. What's the situation of things in that community at the moment?
Yes, we spoke at about between 1 and 2 p.m. We spoke to the security advisor, who said there is actually a plan on ground to deploy security officers to the community. But as we speak, the place is sacked because there's a place called, the nearest town to Mbalom is a place called Ibayongo. And so most of the people from these villages are actually taking refuge in Ibayongo as we speak, or thinking and hoping that the government will act swiftly and do something about the situation. But honestly, it's actually an eyesore. If you see the destruction there, the property destroyed, I was wondering in this kind of atmospheric climatic condition of the economy, You're talking about where some people lose their for their whole ban of food. The pictures are gory, honestly, and the people are just hoping and thinking that the government can act very fast. But honestly, as we speak, there is fear in Balom axis of Benue State, in Gwe East entirely, because they are saying nobody knows where it will happen next. As a matter of fact, no header resides around these people, and they are just wondering where it actually came from, and how it happened. Nobody knows. But maybe by the time the police and the other security agencies get on top of the situation, they'll be able to tell us through investigation what exactly took place.
All right. So, Jimmy Asande, we'll trust that you keep an eye on things, and as the news develop, on our subsequent bulletin, we'll actually connect with you to give us more updates on what's happening along the Balom and, of course, where local government area where these killings have recently happened. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's move on now, where there is a feeling of a siege in Benue State over the past few weeks, given understanding of the scaling of attacks and its impact on the state of affairs. Why are security measures in place unable to curtail the excessive violence in the state? That and many more we'll get to find out later on. But residents are calling for community policing. What more can be done to actually make this happen? We'll also have all of this information later on our next bulletin. But moving on, a notorious gang yet to be identified has claimed the lives of at least 5 police officers in the Abakaliki metropolis of Ebonyi State. The tragic incident occurred in the early hours of Friday at the popular Ebia Bridge along Hilltop Road in Abakaliki. Additionally, 2 suspected prostitutes who were reportedly returning to their respective homes in the area also lost their lives in the attack. Reports indicate that Hoodlums had previously was attacked and killed policemen on duty at the same location 3 months ago. The officers who fell victim to Friday's attack were stationed at their duty post when they were ambushed by the unknown gunmen. A resident who was identified as Mrs. Ngozi expressed concern over the increase in violence in the area, highlighting that the spot has become a frequent target for criminal activities. She recounted the previous attacks and lamented the loss of lives, including the recent tragedy that claimed the lives of 6 policemen and 2 women. Attempts to reach the Police Public Relations Office of the state headquarters, DSP Joshua Okandu, was unsuccessful. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has strongly condemned the aberrant abductions of vulnerable victims, including internally displaced persons in Borno State and students in Kaduna State. Expressing deep concern over the incident, President Tinubu has directed security and intelligence agencies to swiftly rescue the victims and ensure that those responsible for these reprehensible acts face justice. The president extends heartfelt sympathy to the families of the victims, assuring them that efforts are underway to reunite them with their loved ones. And fire has gutted a private radio station, Bakbando FM, in our Oka local government area of Anambra State. And the incident, which occurred around 9:30 p.m. on Thursday, was said to have affected the office building with its studio equipment partly burned. No life was lost in the inferno, which the cause is yet to be ascertained. And confirming the incident, State Fire Chief Martin Agbili said some equipment and other parts of the building were saved through quick response of the fire service in the state. And despite facing numerous challenges, Martha Okafo, a resident of Kaduna, boldly pursued a career as an automobile mechanic, driven by her desire for self-resilience and her commitment to contribute to her family's and the country's development. Born in Kaduna with origin in Enugu, Martha, who is now 22 years old, has found success in a chosen profession, working as an automobile mechanic in Mogadishu, Kaduna metropolis. Trust TV's Ballo Musa tells us Martha's story of determination and resilience.
Martha Okafor, a role model for women in society, encountered initial resistance even from her own family, but she remained steadfast in her pursuit. With the support of her boss, who provided mentorship and training, Martha overcome challenges, including skepticism from clients.
They will say woman is not going to be under the car, but if you follow what they say, you are not going to work. Number two, the other thing that guys used to do, they are not going to give you. But if you put your hair, you are going to do it. You have so many challenges here because so many people come and ask you unnecessary questions. How woman want to do this kind of work? As in, I would just say that I love the work.
Amidst the increasing cost of living, Martha encourages women to acquire skills to improve their lives.
I want to tell the old ladies to sit up. There's no more lazy person in this life. You don't depend on anyone. You may not be mechanic, you may be all that you have to learn, but you stand up and go and learn it. Because there's so many hard graduates outside, there is no, but your handler is going to help you anywhere you went to. Your handler is going to help you and is going to feed you.
A high school graduate, Martha aspires to further her education in mechanical engineering and establish her own mechanic company, showcasing her ambition and determination.
I want to become that woman they always say, that what a man can do, a woman can do it more better. I want to become that woman that I can stand on my own, to be that successful woman in life.
Martha's resilience is seen posting the benefit of handwork, resilience and commitment, which has become an inspiration for young women in the society. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still staying with matters concerning women's development, women and other stakeholders and men all over the world are still celebrating International Women's Day, and women from various states across the northeastern region and the country gathered in Kano for a women's livelihood exhibition and workshop organized by the United Nations Women and Center for Community Research and Development Networks. The event is themed Resilience in the Face of Terror, aimed at celebrating women from the Northeast. Here is the report.
In a powerful display of solidarity and empowerment, women hailing from various states in the northeastern region of the country gathered in Kano to mark the 2024 International Women's Day. These women and girls, who are the worst affected by conflict and climate change in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states, now have a cause to celebrate. This exhibition is organized by UN Women and Center for Community Research and Development Networks to showcase the diverse entrepreneurial skills of these empowered women.
Ni ina mafa to Maiduguri for 28 kilometers ne. Ranar 28 of February 2014.
I lived at Mafa 48 kilometers to Maiduguri, and on 28 February 2014, I fled with my baby and we stayed at an IDP camp for a while. While at that camp, I was enrolled into this program where I was trained to process rice and given equipment to use in my work. I thank God because even my appearance has changed a lot.
Alhamdulillah, ai na canja ai ko a fuska ma.
To lokacin da muke tare da mahaifina ba abin da muka nema muka rasa to daga bisani shigan Boko Haram din nan kasar mu.
I was living a good life with my parents before the Boko Haram problem came to our state. My father died, so we fled our state initially. On returning, all his properties have been taken over and I was married off to a 70-year-old man. I am grateful today to UN Women who have made us stand on our feet once again.
Kokari da UN Women ta mana da irin kyautata mana da ta yi.
You know, when I graduated from school, I don't have anything doing. I was idle until CCDRN came and helped me and connect me to UN Women through the help of people from Japan. So I got trained on tie and dye and bead making also, and from there they empowered me and I was able to train people, young people around me.
According to the organizers, these women's achievements are proof of unwavering strength and determination to thrive despite adversities. Hence, this program to further link them with available markets in Kano State.
We are not just looking at just empowering them, but also linking them to market. So that is why this workshop was organized. So the workshop was organized to see how we can link them to market. Well, after we have trained them and in producing the materials and also improving the quality of the materials through value chain addition, we want to link them to market. That's why we actually also brought the event to Kano.
After the advent of the insurgency activity that have ravaged almost the economic and the livelihood of the Northeast. So this event is to show the progress.
The 2024 International Women's Day in Kano served as an inspiration from the stories of resilience of these remarkable women.
Thank you for staying. You're still watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at FCT resident expressing mixed feelings over monthly rental payment. Details of the story and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching the news update on Trust Television. A look at some of our major stories. We told you earlier that 16 killed in fresh Benue attack by suspected herdsmen. And the world commemorates 2024 International Women's Day. Moving on to more stories, students from various tertiary institutions in Imo State took to the street to protest against the high cost of living, exorbitant tuition fees, and poor quality of education and infrastructure in their institutions. The protesters, representing students from Federal University of Technology Owerri Futo, Imo State University Owerri, Alvan Ikoku Federal College of Education Owerri, Federal Polytechnic Owerri, and Imo State University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences in Umuagwo Ohaji, staged a peaceful demonstration in Owerri. Moving away from that story, the Lagos State government has rolled out a monthly rental scheme which will be enforced before the end of 2024 or early next year. Already, 5 billion naira has been committed to the monthly rental scheme, which seeks to ensure that getting affordable accommodation become less difficult in big Nigerian cities like Lagos. While many see it as a welcome development, some others are already asking if such a policy can replicate or be replicated in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail speaks to resident and property agents on the sustainability or otherwise of the monthly rental plan. His report.
The biggest challenge of living in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, is getting an affordable accommodation. With the current economic meltdown, it has become more difficult for low-income earners to pay their rent. In the FCT, landlords only rent out their property for the minimum of 1 year, with others setting a minimum rental subscription of 2 years. With the introduction of a monthly rental scheme in Lagos, residents of the FCT want it replicated in the country's capital.
Well, if it is like that, people can be able to prepare, because the essence that the landlord will give you in condition, okay, in 6 months time you have to pay me, in 6 months time you have to pay me instead of 12 months, you can be able to save and pay, or monthly. People can be able to sort out themselves and be able to pay the month. It will be convenient for them. Well, if I have my way, I will advise the government to continue housing estates so that people, it will limit the cost of individual to exploit the masses. If government housing estate is being improved in diverse dimensions or in many ways, at least there will be a lot of houses that people can be able to afford.
Like monthly is not going to be like usable to the landlord, but half year is okay based on my earning. So if that regulation will be imposed, then I believe the tenants are going to be at least up. The distance will be affordable to them.
While some respondents support the monthly rental payment, others argue that the scheme may not be sustainable.
There's an allowance, housing allowance for us. So what we do is that we contribute it, gather it in a year and pay. Unlike, say, we should be paying monthly. Sometimes, before the salary comes, some have even spent all the money. So it might really be difficult for people paying monthly housing for housing. It will be very difficult for me. So I still really prefer a yearly payment.
Although there is a bill at the National Assembly seeking to regulate payment of rent in the FCT, property agents who are major stakeholders in the housing industry argue that since tenants are already struggling with the yearly payment, they may not be able to meet up with the monthly payment. Landlord will feel oppressed to receive rent monthly. Even the yearly payments, it used to be difficult for some tenants to pay. Therefore, asking for rent at the end of each month will cause problem. Availability and cost of rental properties vary across different states, making it difficult to implement a uniform policy nationwide. But be that as it may, most Nigerians believe that implementing policies that provide affordable housing is necessary amidst the rising cost of living in the country. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, a word from Nigeria. In a surprising turn of event, President Macky Sall of Senegal has officially announced March 24th as the date for the upcoming presidential election. This declaration has sparked reactions across the nation, evoking a mixture of relief and lingering uncertainty among Senegalese citizens. After weeks of deliberation and speculation, the decision was made during a Council of Ministers meeting, marking an end to the prolonged deadlock surrounding the election date. The announcement came as a welcome relief to many Senegalese who had grown weary of the prolonged uncertainty. Senegal's streets buzzed with a palpable sense of satisfaction as citizens woke up to the news. For many, the clarity provided by the fixed election date was a much-needed respite from the ongoing political turmoil. However, amidst the relief, there remains a cloud of uncertainty, and the decision to set the election dates comes after the Constitutional Council rejected previously proposed dates, causing further apprehension among some Senegalese citizens. And that wraps up the news at this hour. For more news, program and documentary, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.